If you've watched my previous videos on the crow and the dragonfly as spirit animals, you may have noticed a common thread. The crow invites us to awaken, to see with greater wisdom, and notice what others often overlook. The dragonfly encourages us to look beneath the surface, challenging our assumptions and helping us recognize the deeper stories shaping our lives. The butterfly naturally becomes the next step in that journey. Have you ever wondered why butterflies appear during important transitions in your life? Maybe you've noticed one after the loss of someone you loved, during a major life change, or at a moment when you felt like you were becoming someone new. Across many cultures, the butterfly has represented transformation, hope, and renewal. But I think its greatest lesson isn't simply that we change, it's how we change. Today I'd like to explore the butterfly as a spirit animal, not as superstition, but as a symbol that can help us understand our own journey of personal growth. Most people think the butterfly represents beauty. I think it represents courage. We admire the butterfly because of its wings, but we often forget everything that happened before those wings ever appeared. Before there was flight, there was crawling. Before beauty, there was uncertainty. Before freedom, there was complete transformation hidden inside a chrysalis. That's often how personal growth works. The biggest changes in our lives happen long before anyone else notices them. One of the ideas I often talk about is that our lives are shaped by the stories we tell ourselves. Sometimes those stories tell us who we've always been. The butterfly reminds us that we don't have to remain the person we were yesterday. We are continually becoming. Every difficult experience, every mistake, every disappointment becomes part of the cocoon where a new identity begins to form. That's why transformation often feels uncomfortable. We naturally want certainty, but growth requires letting go of an identity that no longer serves us. I think the chrysalis is one of the most powerful metaphors in nature. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening, yet inside, everything is changing. We all experience seasons like that, times when it feels like we've stopped making progress, times when life seems quiet. Maybe we're grieving, healing, learning, or simply trying to understand what comes next. Those moments aren't wasted. They're preparing us for the next chapter. Looking back over my own life, I've had several chrysalis moments, experiences that completely changed how I saw myself. At the time, they didn't feel like transformation. They felt like confusion. Looking back, I realized they were necessary. Without those difficult seasons, I wouldn't have become the person I am today. That's one reason why I value reflective writing. Writing allows us to look back and recognize the transformation that wasn't obvious while we were living it. So I'd like to leave you with a few questions. Question 1. What part of your life are you outgrowing? Question 2. What old story about yourself no longer fits? And finally, question 3, are you resisting change because it's uncomfortable or because you're afraid of who you might become? Sometimes the butterfly appears to remind us that change isn't something to fear, it's something to trust. The butterfly teaches us that transformation isn't instant. It unfolds one stage at a time. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: we don't become someone entirely different. We become more fully ourselves. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear about a time when you experienced your own butterfly moment. Share your story in the comments below. And if you're interested in exploring more spirit animals and what they can teach us about identity, healing, and personal transformation, consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, keep writing your story.